Hey everyone, I'm Ultimate456, you're the Ultimates, and welcome to episode 20 of Let's Platinum Danganronpa 2, Goodbye Despair.
What is it, Miss Sonia?
I regret that I must return to this topic, but I just realized something concerning the night vision goggles. If Byakuya was indeed wearing those goggles, how did the killer manage to navigate in the dark?
You're right. They wouldn't have been able to see anything without the night vision goggles. But if the murderer had the goggles when they took the knife, then how did Byakuya see them?
Even if the knife bore some sort of mark, it would have been difficult to see it in that darkness.
That's a really good point, Nekomaru. No, the killer definitely used the mark. And because of this mark, the killer was able to get the knife from under the table into his hands. Well, he wouldn't have been able to see Byakuya, he wouldn't have been able to see the tablecloth, he wouldn't have been able to see the party dishes, he would have been able to see the glowing paint.
I see! What if the glowing paint was the mark? With that, you'd be able to get the knife even in the dark.
They would have been able to see, sorry.
In actuality, the knife we found under the table and the duct tape stuck to the underside of the table were both marked with glowing paint, right?
Does that mean the killer painted them in advance?
But painting them with glowing paint? It's as if they knew the blackout was going to happen.
They had to have already known. That's why they used the glowing paint as a mark.
Which means whoever set up the blackout is the killer.
That seals it. The killer is whoever was in the office with the circuit breaker. Which means it was you, Peko Pekoyama!
Peko killed poor Byakuya? Was this island not big enough for two glasses wearers?
What a weird thing to notice.
I am not the killer. Oh, I guess she's not.
How can you believe her so easily?
But with Peko's height, I don't think she'd be able to reach the circuit breaker in the office.
I don't care about a technicality like that. Peko's the one who tripped the breaker and caused the blackout.
By tripping the breaker directly from the office, Peko was the one who caused the blackout. Is that really what happened? After this debate, blue-coloured weak spots will start appearing. If we call the weak spots you've seen up until now argue spots, the blue-coloured weak spots will be called agree spots. When shooting agree spots with truth bullets, you need to flip your way of thinking. Instead of arguing that the other person's testimony contains lies or mistakes, please fire the truth bullets that prove the other person's testimony is correct. When your truth bullets merge with their weakness, it will become a logically sound agreement. Isn't it a little hot in here? From now on, you must infer whether it's best to argue or agree based on what's being debated. If you press the options button during this argument, well then we're not going to have fun. Okay. So let's see if we can work out what this one is. So we need to use someone's account.
Since Peko was in the office, she could have caused the blackout at any time.
That's impossible.
Huh? Why is it impossible?
Because I was not in the office. Not even before the blackout.
What happened to your guard duty?
Sorry.
Oh, you weren't in the office? That's clearly a desperate excuse.
Okay, so we had cause the blackout and before the blackout, agree spots. Just from listening to Peko's testimony, it's not weird to doubt her. But I feel like I spoke to someone during the investigation who totally backs up her testimony. So we've got Terutoru, Chiaki, and Nekomaru. Let's have a look. So Chiaki's account was to do with Fuyuhiko appearing outside, so it's got nothing to do with that. Terutoru's account was talking about the gas stove in the kitchen that was powered by electricity, and that's why he couldn't use it during the blackout. However, Nekomaru's account said that he kept trying to use the bathroom since before the party started, but someone was using it the whole time. He was able to enter the bathroom after Byakuya's body was discovered. So he was trying to enter the bathroom before the party started, which was before the blackout. And we saw that Peko was having issues, like stomach problems and stuff.
She could have caused the blackout at any
So-
time.
That's impossible.
Huh? Why is it
Because I was not in the office.
She wasn't in the office.
Not even before the blackout.
I agree with that.
I agree with that. So we got a consenting agreement there.
No, I think Peko is telling the truth.
Don't tell me you're crushing on Peko.
And it's nothing like that at all. Nekomaru's account is actually Peko's alibi.
I've been trying to use it many times, but the door just won't open at all.
It's true. Someone was occupying the bathroom for a long time shortly after the party started. And it was finally freed up after Byakuya's body was discovered.
Then the person who was in the bathroom that whole time was actually...
Everyone else besides Peko was in the dining hall after the party started, right?
I see. So there's no way anybody else could have locked themselves in the bathroom except Peko.
I guess that would be true.
You locked yourself in the commode? You should have said so earlier.
The commode.
There's no way she'd actually say that. Gosh, you're so insensitive.
If she locked herself in the bathroom for that long, there's no doubt. It's shit.
It's so ridiculous.
Oh, there's no way she'd admit it. There's no way she'd admit she was taking a shit.
I love how he laughs.
Hey, weren't you guys taught any basic manners, or were you raised in a locker room?
I'm sorry.
It's fine. How about we stop talking about this and move on to something else?
Don't worry. The smell wasn't that strong. I used the bathroom right after you, so you can trust me.
I said it's fine.
But still, you were in the bathroom for a really long time. Did you get food poisoning or something?
As soon as I stepped into the office, I felt this sudden rush of pain in my stomach. Because of that, I was unable to leave the bathroom, including when the blackout occurred.
Hey, how did it feel to do your business in the dark? Did you get excited? Seriously, stop it.
But still, your stomach pain. Was that really just a coincidence?
Hey, what's the deal? Don't butt into other people's business, especially if you didn't do any investigating.
I'm only butting in because you fucking idiots are out of your element.
Stop this childish nonsense. Just what do you mean by coincidence?
What I mean is it possible someone slipped her some laxatives?
Laxatives?
If so, the killer could have tripped the breaker as soon as that girl left the office, don't you think?
I see. That might have happened.
The question is whether Peko's stomachache was a coincidence, or if someone intentionally caused it. Depending on the answer, the outcome of this trial could change drastically. Alright, so we need to figure out if it was a coincidence or if someone slipped us some laxatives. Let's see if we can work out a way to do that.
Did you eat anything weird?
I don't remember eating anything weird. Now that you mention it... You brought food to the office, right? Just a little bit from the dining hall.
There might have been some laxatives in it, don't you think?
Taro cooked the food. How suspicious!
I wouldn't do anything like that! Laxatives would ruin the taste!
Okay, so we have laxatives and we have ruined the taste, argue spots. Whether Peko's stomachache was a coincidence or if someone intentionally caused it. We need to clarify that first. So this one's
Did you
a
eat
little
anything
tricky,
weird?
but because you have to kind of like think a little bit
remember eating anything
more
weird.
than just a simple, like you have to think of another
Now
step.
that you mention it...
The thing is that if we go to party dishes, let me actually see if they actually talk about it here. Teruteru reported his heart and soul into cooking various party dishes. However, Akane and Peko were the only ones who ate them. So it says, it gives you the information there, but Akane and Peko were the only people that ate the dishes. So if there were laxatives,
There might have been some laxatives in it, don't you think?
then Akane would have got sick too.
wrong.
And she didn't. And so that one I feel like is a little trickier than normal.
No, it's impossible that laxatives were slipped into the food in the dining hall. Because Peko wasn't the only one who ate that food. Akane ate some of it too.
If the food had laxatives in it, I'm pretty sure Akane would have had stomach issues as well. I feel totally fine.
Like I said, the dishes are innocent. Don't go making weird accusations.
I apologize for causing a scene.
Fuyuhiko should apologize, not you. He's the one who made the laxative accusation.
What the fuck did you say, bitch?
Cease this bickering!
Let's just dismiss Pecco's stomachache as a coincidence and go back to discussing the blackout.
Yeah. We already know that, you trashy skank. You don't have to tell us.
Ouch.
Trashy skank?
As long as the murder happened during the blackout, then the blackout itself is what's actually important. So we need to make it clear how that blackout occurred. Alright, let's figure that one out. Doop, 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 doop.
Who tripped the breaker and how did they do it? If you can't answer that, I'm gonna bop you on the head.
Did they throw a stone and hit it?
Maybe they used a remote control?
They probably messed with the breaker.
It does not have to be the breaker. They may have tampered with the power supply and transmitters. Or maybe they caused a power surge?
I bet it's really Monokuma's fault.
By the way, I'm not a trashy skank.
Just add that in at the end there. How did the killer trip the circuit breaker? I'm pretty sure I already have that clue. Okay, so if we look at our truth bullets and we look at the irons in storage room, there were 3 irons placed inside the storage room. When Nagito found them, they were all turned on. So why would you need to turn on 3 irons at the same time?
Maybe they used a remote.
They probably.
It does not have to be. They may have tampered with
The
the
reason
power.
they did
Maybe
that
they caused a power surge?
Is to cause a power surge.
I agree with that.
Almost lost that one there. I misaimed, but the truth bullets fire fairly quickly in this one, so I had to take a
It's
chance.
just as Mahiru said. The blackout was caused by a power surge. Of course, that's not a coincidence. Someone caused it intentionally.
Which is why those 3 irons were arranged to cause the blackout.
When you found them right after the blackout, the irons were still on, right?
So by leaving those irons on in the storage room, they deliberately caused a power surge.
Yeah. It seems that's how the killer caused the blackout.
Stupid fool!
Wow. What a,
Hold on a second, let me speak too!
What the heck?
You say the irons in the storage room were used to trigger the blackout? That's inexcusable!
Okay. Why does Nekomaru think that the irons in the storage room why they didn't cause the blackout?
If the irons in the storage room caused the blackout, then for the killer to turn the irons on, you're saying they went all the way to the storage room? Then that means everyone who was in the dock when the blackout occurred can't be a suspect.
No, just because people were in the dining hall doesn't mean they're not a suspect.
But the people in the dining hall weren't able to... If the irons caused the blackout, then the killer had to go to the storage room before that and turn on the iron. Now do you intend to take back what you said?
It's true the irons were responsible for the blackout, but that shouldn't be the only reason.
But the people in the dining hall weren't able to cause... If the irons caused the blackout...
Allow me to cut through those words.
Alright, so it was actually the AC timer as well that helped.
The irons are just one reason the blackout occurred, but they weren't the direct trigger. The direct trigger was when the air conditioners in the dining hall and office clicked on.
The air conditioners!
The timers for both air conditioners were set to 11:30 p.m.
11:30 p.m. Mr. Ham Hands died around that time too!
I see. When the timers activated the air conditioners, the breaker was tripped and caused a blackout.
So basically the killer set up the 3 irons so that it was constantly using power, and then used both of the air conditioners, set them to 11:30 so that they both turn on, and then that would take up even more power, and that caused the power surge, which tripped the breaker and caused the blackout. Or which caused the power surge and then caused the blackout. Don't know if it necessarily tripped the breaker.
I see! I understand! Indubitably!
Indubitably.
Indubitably?
They probably checked the old building's energy usage in advance and used the irons to nearly max it out. So once they set the air conditioner's timers, they just had to wait until they started up on their own.
If so, even if Pekka was in the office, it still would have been possible to cause a blackout, indubitably.
Indubitably? Miss Sonia,
Not you too.
Regarding the energy usage, they probably asked Monokuma about it.
Dun dun dun!
Is she right? Such a hateful bear! You deserve to die 1,000 deaths!
1,000, you say? If I died that many times, I might really stay dead, you know?
Shut up! You guys just stay quiet! I couldn't have prevented the blackout even if I was in the office. But even so, I feel regret. If I was in the office, I could have reset the breaker in time. And maybe the murder wouldn't have occurred.
No, the breaker in the office was built into a high area of the wall that's impossible to reach. Resetting the breaker in that darkness would have been impossible, no matter what.
Sounds like you don't need to blame yourself.
Even so, the killer is so sly. I'm starting to worry we may never actually find them.
It's alright. You don't have to worry. Because they're just a petty killer, right? They can't defeat symbols of hope like you guys.
Huh?
There's no way everybody will lose now. This little incident will just be a stepping stone for you all. In the end, hope always wins. That's what I believe.
Nagito? What happened to you?
Huh? What do you mean?
Well, you have been saying this whole time that there's no way a killer could be among us.
Oh, is that so? Well, let's just put that minor detail aside for now and talk about the incident. For now, we found out how the blackout occurred. But the question is, who caused it, right? Anybody could have hid and set the timers for the air conditioners. Setting up the irons in the storage room could have been done before Byakuya set foot in the old building. What a shame. Any one of us is capable of that.
What are you implying?
He's just saying, after all this time, we still haven't made any progress.
Huh? Even though we have been arguing for so long?
Unfortunately, it's the truth. Despite the fact that we've discussed this at length, there's not even one clue that leads to the killer. But that might be because there's no way any of us could be a killer.
You're changing your story again?
Anyway, I have an idea about what we all should do at this point. Has anyone thought about our situation like this? Instead of surviving by doubting others, isn't it better to get killed for believing in others?
Doesn't that mean... Are you saying we should all just give up and die?
Nagito, there's definitely something wrong with you.
You guys only think there's something wrong with me because there's something wrong with you. Suspecting each other like this. There's no way that's healthy behavior. Let's stop this already. We don't have to find out who the killer is. I can't stand this anymore. I don't want to do this to my friends.
I don't want to do this either.
Me too! Please, take me home already! I want to go home and eat candy!
Stop it. If everyone acts like this, I'm gonna...
Everyone calm down.
We're all friends, aren't we? There's no way one friend would murder another.
Then why did Byakuya die?
Who cares? Let's just give up already. There are no clues that lead to the killer anyway. Not a single one.
That's wrong. I think.
Did you say something?
'Cause we've already found a clue that might point to who the killer is.
A clue, you say?
You know who the killer is?
The killer? I don't know. But we do have a clue about a suspicious person. I think.
I see. Then care to tell me, what's this clue you're talking about?
First of all, let's try thinking about how the killer was able to obtain the knife during the blackout.
Didn't we already cover that? They use glowing paint as a mark.
No, not that. I mean before that.
Before? Is she asking how the killer got close to that table? Even if they had to obtain the knife by relying on the glow from the paint, in order to do that, they needed to get close to that table while it was still dark.
Let's try examining the situation. Mahiru's diagram might be useful here.
The diagram of where everyone was standing before the blackout, right? Here it is.
Alright, let's look at that diagram next time. Okay, so I want to thank you all for watching episode 20 of Let's Platinum Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair. My name's Ultima456, you're the Ultimates, and I'll see you next time.